Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9 and Text 12. Nati prasidati tatha upachita upacharaihi araditaha suraghanaihi hrudi baddhakamaihi yat sarvabhuta daya asad alabhyaika nana janeshu avahitaha suhrud antaratma nati prasidati tatopachitopacharair araditha suraganair hrudibaddha kamai yasarvabhutadayaya sad alabhyaiko nana janeshvah avahita suhrudantaratma nati prasidhati tatopachitopacharair aradhita suraganai hrudibaddha khamai yasarvabhutadayaya sadalabhyaiko nana janeshva avahita suhrudantaratma. Sarvabhutadaya sadalabhyaiko Now, never, ati, very much, prasidati, become satisfied, tatha, as much as, upachita, by pompous arrangement, upacharaihi, with much worshipable paraphernalia, araditaha, being worshipped, suraganaihi, by the celestial demigods, Rudibaddha Kamai, with hearts full of all sorts of material desires. Yet that which Sarva, all, Bhuta, living entities, Dayaya, to show them causeless mercy, asat, non-devotee, alabhyaya, not being achieved, ekaha, one without a second, nana, various, janeshu, in living entities, avahitaha, perceive, suhrut, well-wishing friend, antaha, within, atma, super soul. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, just to show your causeless mercy, and you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee. Please repeat, My Lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material anchorings. You are situated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, just to show your causeless mercy, and you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The demigods in the celestial heavenly planets, who are appointed administrators of the material affairs, are also devotees of the Lord. But at the same time, they have desires for material opulence and sense gratification. The Lord is so kind that He awards them all sorts of material happiness, more than they can desire, but He is not satisfied with them because they are not pure devotees. The Lord does not want any one of His innumerable sons, the living entities, to remain in the material world of threefold miseries, to perpetually suffer the material pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. The demigods in the heavenly planets and many devotees on this planet also want to remain in the material world as devotees of the Lord and take advantage of material happiness. They do so at a risk of falling down to the lower status of existence, and this makes the Lord dissatisfied with them. Pure devotees are not desirous of any material enjoyment, nor are they averse to it. They completely dovetail their desires with the desires of the Lord and perform nothing on their personal account. Arjuna is a good example. On his own sentiment, due to family affection, Arjuna did not want to fight. But finally, after hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he agreed to fight in the interest of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is very much satisfied with pure devotees because they do not act for sense gratification but only in terms of the Lord's desire. As Paramatma, a super soul, He is situated in everyone's heart, always giving everyone the chance of good counsel. Thus, everyone should take the opportunity and render transcendental loving service to Him wholly and solely. The non-devotees, however, are neither like the demigods nor like the pure devotees, but are averse to the transcendental relationship with the Lord. They have revolted against the Lord and must perpetually undergo the reactions of their own activities. Bhagavad Gita states, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. Although the Lord is equally kind to every living being, the living beings, for their own part, are able to please the Lord to either a greater or lesser extent. The demigods are called Sakama devotees, or devotees with material desires in mind, while the pure devotees are called Nishkama devotees because they have no desires for their personal interests. The Sakama devotees are self-interested because they do not think of others and therefore they are not able to satisfy the Lord perfectly. Whereas the pure devotees take the missionary responsibility of turning non-devotees into devotees, and they are therefore able to satisfy the Lord more than the demigods. The Lord is unmindful of the non-devotees, although he is sitting within everyone's heart as well, wisher and super soul. However, he also gives them the chance to receive his mercy through his pure devotees who are engaged in missionary activities. Sometimes the Lord himself descends for missionary activities as did in the form of Lord Chaitanya, but mostly he sends his bona fide representatives, and thus he shows his causeless mercy towards the non-devotees. The Lord is so satisfied with his pure devotees that he wants to give them the credit for the missionary success, although he could do the work personally. This is a sign of his satisfaction with his pure Nishkama devotees compared to Sakama devotees. By such transcendental activity, the Lord simultaneously becomes free from the charge of partiality and exhibits his pleasure with the devotees. Now a question arises, if the Lord is sitting in the hearts of non-devotees, why are they not moved to become devotees? It may be answered that the stubborn non-devotees are like the barren land or alkaline field where no agricultural activities can be successful. As part and parcel of the Lord, every individual living entity has a minute quantity of independence, and by misuse of this minute independence, the non-devotees commit offense after offense to both the Lord and to his pure devotees engaged in missionary work. As a result of such acts, they become as barren as an alkaline field where there is no strength to produce. Dasansta Bhaktivedanta Purpoto Madhyanatimirandhasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ehena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatadine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord Brahma is revealing the secrets of Krishna's nature. In the last verse we have seen how Krishna has an internal nature, and Brahma is now explaining about how he deals with various kinds of devotees. Na ati prasidati is not very much satisfied. Tatha upachita upacharair, pompous arrangements. Pompous arrangements means very grand arrangements for upacharai, for worshipping the Lord. And who is araditaha? Now who is organizing this? Who is worshipping? Suraganair, not ordinary humans, the very qualified Suraganai. So even though people like demigods, Suraganai, they are organizing the worship. They made very elaborate, grand arrangements. Upacharai. But still, Lord is na ati prasidati. He is satisfied, but not ati. He is not greatly satisfied. Na ati prasidati tatopa chita. Why? Because Hrudi baddha kamai, the demigods are having desires in their hearts. They have desire for material opulence and they have desire for sense gratification. So because of that, even though they made grand arrangements for worshipping Krishna, na ati prasidati. So he is not very much satisfied by the worship. Why is this? Prabhupada explains in the purport. There are very, very important and interesting points in this purport. Uh, he says, the Lord does not want any one of his innumerable sons to remain in the material world of threefold miseries, to perpetually suffer the material pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. This is a very important statement. This is called the design basis for creating this world. If you want to create anything, first there should be some fundamental basis. So, for Krishna to create this material world, what is the basis of his thinking? Krishna, because he is a personality, so he also thinks. When he is creating something, he has some purpose, some basis is there. And what is that basis? The Lord does not want any of his innumerable sons to remain in the material world. Why? Because there are threefold miseries are there, and he doesn't want them to perpetually suffer this birth, death, old age, and disease. So Krishna doesn't want his sons to perpetually remain here in the material world. This is the reason. So this is the first decision Krishna has taken. What is that? This world is not perpetual. Radha Govinda. He is not contemplating on creating a world which is perpetual. Shashvata. By design, Krishna wants this world to be ashashvata, temporary. That's all. Why? Because he doesn't want any. See, no father wants his child to remain, playing and engaged in some tiny world of the child. Sometimes child will create a father creates a small world for the child to play. Little houses, little aeroplanes, little all those things. No father wants that his child remains perpetually there. Have you seen any father thinking like that? Similarly, Krishna has decided to create a play world for us. But he doesn't want us to remain perpetually in this world. So since he wants to create a world which is temporary, so there is a beginning and there must be an ending. So you can see the concept of three modes. Modes means there is a creation, there is a maintenance, and there is a dissolution. This is modes. See how from the initial concept that this world has to be temporary, Krishna brought in many aspects to the creation. It's a perfect design. With a perfect brain and design, this world is created. So since he doesn't want his sons to remain here perpetually, if somebody is trying to make arrangements to remain perpetually here, Krishna is not satisfied. Why? He created this world so that they can come back. So somebody understood, okay, I have to become devotee of Krishna, but otherwise I'll be beaten up. But then I want to be here only. I want to be in this world only, get good money, get good wife, get good arrangements, good happiness, all kinds of enjoyments. Let me have a good life, but I will be a devotee. I don't want to, I believe in God, I want to be devotee, but I want all these things. So, yes, Krishna will give those facilities. But Prabhupada says there is one risk is there. What is that risk? They do all these things, they are devotees, but they want to keep hrudi baddha kamai, they want to keep all these kama desires. Prabhupada says they do so at a risk of falling down to the lower status of existence. This is the danger here. The danger is if somebody is thinking, okay, somehow I'll manage to remain here and I can be very happy. I'm a devotee, so Krishna will give me everything. So I can remain happy here. So Prabhupada is saying, no, there is a risk of falling down. There was King Nabhi, the devotee of the Lord. But he has so much, he is into fruitive actions, accumulating lot of punya. He used to give charity every day, thousands and millions of cows in charity to Brahmanas. And one day, unknowingly, when he gave charity like that, unknowingly, one cow from one Brahmana's cow shed, it went back to the king, and king gave that cow to one more Brahmana. So the first Brahmana comes back to King Nabhi and says, my cow is missing. It has come back to you. The other Brahmana, then king traces out, it is with the other Brahmana. He is trying to resolve. Both the Brahmanas are not agreeing to give back the cow. The first Brahmana is saying, you gave me charity and then you took back the Brahmana's property. Usurping Brahmana's property is very dangerous sin. If somebody attacks the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and they want to take away their property for their own sense gratification, a very, very dangerous. The Shastra, it is declared that such people, they lose their ayu, their fame, their name, everything. So here, the first Brahmana is very angry because his cow, is taken back. And the second Brahmana is not willing to give the cow back to the king. The king could not resolve. The Brahmana was very upset. And for that, king has to become a lizard in the next life. Can you believe his punya is there? Lot of punya is piled up. But this one mistake has become a lizard in a well. The risk is there. If somebody wants to remain very happy materially, he has to do pious activities. He may be a devotee, but his goal is to remain here. He may do a lot of pious activities. Yes, he will certainly get wealth and happiness, but there is a risk. And somebody may say, no, I'll manage risks. I know how to I am expert in risk management. I'll manage all these risks. The point is, nobody is expert. Nobody is expert in understanding how this world works. The world is so complex. Material energy is so insurmountable. Nobody can get a hold. Nobody can get control on this energy. So that means that risk always remains. Any time anybody can make a mistake and immediately you will see he can come down. So that's why Krishna, although they make gorgeous arrangements for his worship, Aradita Suraganai, still Hrudibaddha Kamai. Moment he sees that in the heart there is some material motivation is there, Lord is not so satisfied. Na ati prasidati, not very much satisfied. He is satisfied that he has come to him, but is not very much satisfied. Then Prabhupada is explaining about the pure devotees. They are not desirous of material enjoyment, nor they are averse to it. If some enjoyment is there, if Krishna gives them some enjoyment, it's not that devotees will run away from it. They are happy. For example, nice varieties of prasadam items are given to the devotee. He will eat. He will enjoy. Because this is offered by God. If Krishna gives, a devotee is not averse to it. He will not run away from it. So the idea is, pure devotee means he doesn't have any independent desires. The God's desire, Krishna's desire will be his desire. Pure devotee means he doesn't have any independent. So here Prabhupada is mentioning here, they completely dovetail their desires with the desires of the Lord and perform nothing on their personal account. So the devotees, they don't do anything on their personal account. So it's a great opportunity to practice pure devotional service in the association of devotees. We'll be able to practice pure devotional service only in the association of other practicing pure devotees, under the shelter of a pure devotee. When we are surrounded by material enjoyments and material desires all around us, simply by our willpower, we will not be able to go on without succumbing to such material desires. Of course, if somebody is chanting, following Guru's instructions, he will be able to cross such temptations. But the ideal environment is if we can practice in the association of pure devotees. One of the important points is that there are no personal accounts. He doesn't have any, of course, literally, or even the meaning here is he doesn't do anything on his own. No independent actions, no independent desires. In fact, we should not create any accounts for ourselves, either physical accounts or any other accounts, without authorization. We should always seek the guidance, whether Krishna's desire, Guru's desire is there or not, and then only we should create any of these things. As practicing brahmacharis, the first and foremost training is that he doesn't do anything independently. Obedience is the most important factor. So he doesn't create any his own individual independent accounts. Everything has to be authorized. A pure devotee is not against any personal accounts nor is he desiring. He just wants to see what is Krishna's desire, that's all. Per se he is not either attached or detached. If it is given, he will manage. If it is not given, he is okay. What is Krishna's desire? That is my desire. This is pure devotion. Prabhupada always gives this important example from Bhagavad Gita, how Arjuna in the beginning he wanted to do something on his own independently, but after hearing Bhagavad Gita he changed his mind. This change is important. Moment devotee sees that this is Guru's desire, this is Krishna's desire, he changes himself. There should be a change in his heart, change in his mind, change in his thought. This is devotee. One should not stuck on to his own opinion stubbornly. One should not stick on like that. Once there was a quarrel between two friends, and then the quarrel is, I forgot this thing. I think something is killed. So one friend is saying it was killed by scissors, and one more is saying it is killed by knife, and both are fighting. The fight has become so intense that they both physically fought, and the knife fellow has put this scissors fellow into the waters, and that person is drowning. The scissor fellow is drowning. While drowning, still till the last moment he is saying like this, and he drowns. this is called drowning. This is stubborn. Stubborn. I will not change my opinion. No, devotees are not like that, because they are practicing pure devotional service. They are willing to change based on the truth, based on the fact that it is Guru, it is Krishna, so their desires, so I am willing to change. So then Prabhupada is quoting about this non-devotees who are like stubborn. They don't want to accept that there is God. They don't want to accept that there is a transcendental relationship possible with God. They are averse to it. So Prabhupada, he's saying here, yes, Lord is unmindful, is not attentive to them as much as he is attentive to a pure devotee. So pure devotees, main important aspect of a pure devotee is that he is not selfish. He always thinks about the welfare of others, because he has no personal ambition, he has no personal motivation, no personal desires. Pure devotee simply works for the welfare of others. They become ever well-wisher. This is a pure devotee. He is always a well-wisher of others. Whereas demigods, because they are sakama devotees, they still have some desires in their heart. Hrudi baddha kamai, their first priority is for me what? What is for me? Instead of thinking for the others. So that's why Prabhupada is saying, a pure devotee, he takes up missionary activity. Somebody who is thinking about mission, how to spread Krishna's glories, how to make non-devotees into devotees, such devotees are very dear to Krishna. And Krishna is not hiding this fact that he is very happy with them. He mentions in Bhagavad Gita that I am very happy with them. What is that? Nacha tasmat manusheshu. He clearly declares in Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada is quoting this verse to prove that Krishna is not ati prasidati with the demigods, but is very prasidati, very very happy with the the pure God's mission. Everybody should come forward and help the Lord's mission, so that Lord is pleased with them. They'll also become dear devotees to Krishna. This is the secret. Simply support and help and participate and push forward this glorious mission, which is meant to bring all around welfare to the society. So stop here. Any questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.